Hey everyone and welcome. If you're a student translator, you know deep down that the job is so much more than just being fluent in two languages, right? It's about managing your work, keeping everything consistent, and delivering something that's actually high quality. Today, we're going to look at a tool that's built to handle all that back-end stuff so you can just focus on the words. Let's jump into this student's guide to Crowdin.
So here's our roadmap for today. We'll kick things off with what Crowdin actually is and why you should care. Then we're getting hands-on with your very first steps. We'll take a look inside the editor and then tackle the super important process of making sure your work is top-notch. And finally, we'll see how to get that translation all the way to the finish line. It's the whole workflow from start to finish.
So first things first, what exactly is Crowdin? Well, the technical answer is it's a localization platform. But honestly, a much better way to think about it is as your partner, your ally in the whole, sometimes complicated world of professional translation.
I'm sure you've been there. You're trying to juggle spreadsheets for special terms, keep track of a bunch of changes, or you're just feeling totally swamped by the size of a project. These are those tricky management challenges that pile up on top of the actual translation itself.
And that's exactly the problem Crowdin was made to solve. It's a localization management platform, and its whole purpose is to streamline that entire process. It organizes everything for you, from the original files to your final translated text, all in one clean, easy-to-use space. The whole idea is to let the software handle the logistics, so you can focus on what you're actually good at, translating.
All right, that's enough of the what. Let's get into the how. How do you actually get started once you get a project? Let's walk through those first couple of really important steps together.
Getting going is pretty straightforward. You'll sign in and you'll see your assigned projects, but I want you to pay really close attention to step 3, checking the word counts. Now, this isn't just about seeing how big the project is. This is your first strategic move. Understanding the scope of the work helps you plan out your time and your energy before you even translate a single word.
Okay, so once you've picked your project, you'll jump into the Crowdin editor. This is your command center. It's your main workspace, and really, it's where all the magic happens.
The editor is designed to be super efficient with this simple 3-part layout. Over on the left, you've got your source text. In the middle, there's a super helpful terminology section. We'll talk more about that in a sec. And then on the right is where you type in your translation. This side-by-side setup is absolutely key because it keeps everything you need right in front of you. No more flipping between different documents or windows.
Look, a solid first draft is one thing, but what makes a translator a professional is ensuring quality. This next part, on quality assurance, is what takes your work from just good to truly great professional-level work. It's not just about getting the words right, it's about making sure the whole thing is consistent and polished.
And this brings us to the number 1 rule of quality. Remember that terminology section in the editor? That's your term base. Think of it as a project-specific dictionary. It lists out key terms that have to be translated in a very specific way. Following this is frankly non-negotiable, because it's what guarantees consistency across the entire project. I mean, think about it. Getting a key brand name or a feature name wrong could totally confuse users and even hurt a company's image. This little tool prevents all of that.
So, once you've got your translation drafted, you're not quite done yet. The next move is to run the built-in QA check. This is an awesome automated tool that flags potential problems. We're talking things like punctuation mistakes, spacing issues, or words you might have missed from that term base. It then puts you into proofreading mode where you can go through each flagged piece of text one by one. Think of it less like a test and more like a helpful safety net to catch those small but really important mistakes.
A lot of times, you'll be proofreading a document that already has some translations in it. Here, your job is basically to be an editor, and the process is super simple. If an existing translation is good to go and meets all the standards, you just approve it. If it needs a little work, you make your adjustments, hit save, and move on. The goal is to make sure every single piece of that final document is held to the same high standard.
So, you've translated the text, you've followed the term base, you've run the QA check, you are right there at the finish line. Let's just cover the one last checkpoint before you can finally submit your work.
And here it is, the single most important requirement. Before you submit, that project progress bar has to say 100%. This is the final check. It means every single segment has been translated, checked, and approved. No loose ends, nothing missed.
And that's pretty much it. That's the entire professional workflow, from the moment you start to the moment you finish. The whole system is designed to be clear and efficient, which really frees you up to focus on what matters, doing your best translation work. So, happy translating.
The big takeaway here is really simple. When you follow a structured process like this, from checking the word count all the way to that final 100% check, you're doing way more than just translating words. You're actually managing a localization project just like a pro would. You now have the keys to that entire workflow. And remember, these skills aren't just for one project or one language. This is a professional framework that you can take with you and apply to all your future work. So really, the only question left is, with this workflow in your toolkit, what challenge are you going to take on next? Thanks for tuning into this explainer.